Chosen. 1. Stop scrolling and listen, because this is not coincidence. Heaven has interrupted your timeline to deliver a word that cannot wait. You are not here by chance. You have been summoned by divine appointment. Every second that led you to this moment has been orchestrated by the hand of God. The atmosphere around you is shifting. The veil between what was and what will be is paper thin. You are standing at the edge of a supernatural transformation, one that could unfold today, tonight, or within the coming hours. This is your Kairos moment, your appointed time. As it is written in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3, though the vision tarries, wait for it will surely come, it will not delay. Heaven has waited for this exact alignment, and now it is here. Anointed one, the delay is over. The divine clock has struck. God is no longer whispering, he is commanding your attention. What happens next depends on your obedience. Be still. Open your spirit. The presence of God is near, and what he is about to reveal will change everything. This is holy ground. Your moment of awakening has arrived. Chosen one. This moment is not random. Heaven has interrupted your day because the Spirit of God has something to say, something meant only for you. You didn't click by accident. You were summoned. Every moment that led you here was divine choreography. You've been feeling the restlessness, the inner stirring that keeps whispering, there's more. That's not anxiety. That's alignment. God has been calling, but the noise around you has been louder than his voice. Now he says, be still and know that I am God. Stillness is not weakness. It is the sacred posture of those about to receive revelation. It's where noise ends and knowing begins. In stillness, heaven downloads what distraction delays. You are standing on holy ground between what was and what will be, and every breath you take here matters. Anointed one, you've spoken enough. You've cried, prayed, explained, and tried to justify your calling to those who were never meant to understand it. But this next chapter will not require validation. It will require obedience. God is not asking you to speak louder. He is asking you to listen deeper. These nights ahead are not ordinary. They are portals, spiritual intersections where heaven rewrites destiny. Something within you is being recalibrated. You can feel it, the strange pull toward solitude, the desire to disconnect, the sudden sensitivity to voices that drain you. That's not mood, that's movement. God is aligning your frequency with his. When the Lord calls you to silence, it's never to punish, it's to protect. You've shared visions, dreams, and sacred insights too freely. Some ears were not assigned to your revelation. The enemy cannot attack what he cannot hear. That's why heaven now places a divine hush over your life. Every word carries power. Every conversation creates energy. If you speak too soon, you dilute what heaven is still forming. Guard your voice because silence is your shield. I know this lesson by experience. There was a season when I revealed everything God told me, every vision, every idea, every promise. I thought transparency was faith. But instead of breakthrough, I met delay. People misunderstood, twisted, and even mocked what God was building in me. It wasn't until I embraced silence that acceleration came. The moment I stopped talking and started listening, favor began to flow. Doors opened that no man could shut. I learned that what God whispers in secret must mature before it's shared in public. Chosen one, that's what he's doing with you now. The silence feels strange because your spirit is expanding. You're being tuned to carry more power, more wisdom, more grace. Every quiet night, every lonely hour has purpose. You're not being hidden, you're being prepared. This is your sacred cocoon season. Let the world talk. Let them wonder. You don't owe explanations for divine transformation. God is saying, protect your atmosphere. Some relationships, habits, and distractions no longer belong in your field. The next level of your destiny demands clarity, not company. You cannot carry low-vibration people into a high-frequency season. The peace you protect today becomes the power you walk in tomorrow. Chosen one. Stop fearing stillness. Heaven works best in silence. The same God who spoke creation into existence is now whispering new instructions into your spirit. Tonight may look quiet, but it's supernatural. Portals are opening. Blueprints are being written. You are not waiting for breakthrough, you are becoming it. So pause, breathe, let your heart settle. In the quiet, angels move. In the silence, wisdom descends. Don't rush away. Heaven is closer than you think. God is not distant. He is near, speaking softly into the soil of your soul. Listen, your next chapter begins the moment you stop running from His voice. Chosen one. You've entered the season of separation. This is the hour when heaven begins to remove everything that cannot survive in your next dimension. The shaking you feel is not rejection, it's refinement. Every delay, every closed door, every person who suddenly faded from your life is part of a divine strategy. God is clearing the stage for your unveiling. He's not punishing you, He's positioning you. For too long, you've tried to carry people who were never assigned to your promise. You've explained yourself to ears that could not hear and poured truth into hearts that had no intention to understand. But the Lord says enough. You are not obligated to explain what heaven is doing. Those who truly walk in the Spirit will discern it without your words. Those who don't were never meant to follow you anyway. This separation is sacred. It will not make sense to the natural mind. You'll wonder why some people suddenly grow distant, why familiar spaces now feel foreign, why silence seems to surround your every step. Don't misinterpret it. This is not isolation, it's incubation. God is maturing your anointing away from noise. In solitude, He's forging authority. In stillness, He's shaping revelation. What feels like loss is actually preparation for influence. I know what this feels like. There was a time I begged God to bring people back to restore connections I thought I needed. But He didn't, and I couldn't understand why until later. I realized that what I called companionship was actually interference. Their presence diluted my focus, their opinions polluted my purpose. The moment I stopped reaching back, God began to open new paths, connections that carried purity, not pity. Anointed one, don't resist the pruning. The vine only bears fruit when the gardener cuts what no longer produces. Every person, habit, and thought pattern that's leaving your life right now is making room for glory. God is preparing you for a realm where few can breathe, where purity and power coexist. To dwell there, you must travel light. The silence around you is not empty, it's holy. God is speaking between the quiet spaces. When you stop chasing conversation and lean into communion, you'll hear Him more clearly than ever before. You'll begin to sense when to speak and when to stay hidden, when to move and when to wait. This rhythm, divine timing, is what separates those who strive from those who soar. This is also the season when distractions disguise themselves as opportunities. Be careful. Every open door is not divine. Some doors are traps, wearing favor's clothing. That's why discernment matters more than speed. Heaven will never rush you into compromise. God doesn't bless chaos. He blesses order. You'll know a divine opening because peace will accompany it. Peace is heaven's confirmation code. If it stirs fear, pressure, or confusion, it's not God. But if it brings stillness, even in uncertainty, step forward boldly. You don't have to see the full path, only the next step. Faith is trusting that obedience unlocks what sight cannot. Chosen one. You are crossing into divine precision. Your steps are no longer random, they're ordered. The same spirit that whispered, "Wait," in your wilderness is now whispering, "Go." But before you move, your heart must be uncluttered. Don't rush to fill the silence. Let God rewrite your motives. Let Him purify your intentions until every action flows from peace, not pressure. You are not losing people. You are losing noise. You are not walking away from love. You are walking toward purpose. And soon the silence that feels heavy will begin to hum with divine activity. You will sense angels rearranging details, aligning resources, and softening hearts in places you can't see. Chosen one. This is the sacred separation. It hurts, but it heals. It's lonely, but it leads. Stay still, stay faithful, stay pure. Because when this silence lifts, you'll emerge unrecognizable, refined, radiant, and ready. Chosen one, tonight is not ordinary. Heaven has marked it as a night of divine activation, a crossing over from waiting to walking, from hearing to embodying. Something in the unseen is opening, and those who are spiritually alert will feel it in their bones. The air is heavy with holy expectation. This is not imagination. This is visitation. You can feel it, can't you? That sacred pull in your spirit, the way your heart beats differently when the presence of God draws near. It's as if the atmosphere bends, time slows, and eternity brushes against your skin. That's what divine activation feels like. It's heaven breathing life into what's been dormant. It's your purpose remembering who it is. Anointed one. You are being reconfigured tonight, spirit, soul, and body. Heaven is synchronizing your internal rhythm with divine timing. What used to feel delayed is about to catch up all at once. Those moments of confusion, the endless waiting, the silence that felt like punishment, they were all preparation. God was tuning you to His frequency so you could handle the weight of what's coming. This activation begins in silence because God always speaks before He shows. The command hasn't changed, be still and listen. The reason is simple, the next revelation cannot be heard through noise. Every distraction, every anxious thought, every unnecessary conversation weakens your spiritual signal. You are not just a listener tonight, you are an antenna receiving divine transmission. When I first experienced this kind of activation, I didn't understand it. I remember sitting in the dark one evening surrounded by candles, feeling a strange peace descend over me. My body felt lighter, my mind clearer. Suddenly ideas, insights and impressions began to flow, answers to questions I hadn't even spoken. It wasn't emotion, it was alignment. I realized then that stillness is not emptiness. It's the sacred womb where revelation is conceived. Chosen one, that's where you are right now. The Spirit of God is planting something within you, strategy, creativity, wisdom, provision. It won't always arrive as a loud voice. Sometimes it's a thought that refuses to leave a name that drops into your mind, a peace that sits heavy on your chest. That's heaven coding messages into your consciousness. Don't dismiss them. Write them down. Pray over them. They are divine downloads. But know this activation always attracts resistance. When light awakens, darkness reacts. You might feel random fatigue, unexpected tension, even strange opposition from people close to you. Don't panic. The enemy attacks when heaven announces. These are birth pains, not breakdowns. Every prophet, every chosen one has faced the same threshold. You are not under attack, you are under awakening. This is why your silence still matters. When spiritual energy rises, so does spiritual warfare. The enemy cannot destroy what's sealed, but he can distract what's unguarded. That's why heaven commands stillness. Guard your space like a sacred temple. Limit your access points. Not every voice deserves entrance into your holy place. God is performing heart surgery, rewiring belief systems, removing fear, and amplifying faith. The operation must be private. Chosen one. If you could see what's happening around you right now, you would tremble. Angels are moving. Assignments are being delivered. Your name is being mentioned in places your feet have yet to step. Divine timing is colliding with human readiness, and for the first time, you are prepared to carry what once would have crushed you. This is not your imagination. It's prophecy unfolding. Do not rush this moment. Turn off distractions, light a candle, create an atmosphere of reverence. You are not just hearing a message, you are sitting in the manifestation of one. The same spirit that hovered over the waters in the beginning is hovering over your life tonight. Creation is happening again, this time within you. Chosen one, surrender to it. Don't analyze, don't question, just receive. The transformation has begun. Heaven is no longer waiting for you to catch up. It's moving through you. What was once delayed is now accelerating. This night is holy. Guard it. Treasure it. Let silence crown it. Chosen one, you have felt the tension building for months, doors half open, promises suspended mid-air, prayers that seemed unanswered. But hear this clearly. The reversal has already begun. Heaven has shifted the scales in your favor, and what once resisted you is now required to release you. The tides that worked against you are turning not slowly, but suddenly. This is what divine timing looks like. One moment, nothing moves. The next, everything unfolds at once. God hides the build-up, so the unveiling feels miraculous. You are stepping into the manifestation of prayers you forgot you prayed. The waiting wasn't wasted, it was the womb of your new reality. While you wrestled with delay, heaven was orchestrating precision. The moment your obedience aligned with his timing, the turnaround was activated. Anointed one, you are living proof that endurance has fruit. The tears you cried didn't vanish. They watered the soil of your promise. The silence you kept wasn't empty. It purified your motives. Every closed door was God saying, "That's not where your glory fits." He was never ignoring you. He was preserving you for the right gate. Now the right gate has opened. You'll begin to notice small confirmations, a message from someone long silent, a new opportunity that feels strangely familiar, peace that returns without explanation. These are divine indicators that the spiritual paperwork has been signed. You are free to move forward. But understand, this breakthrough always comes disguised as responsibility. Heaven releases only what you're ready to steward. When my own reversal began, it didn't come with lightning or applause. It arrived quietly, an email I almost deleted, a conversation I almost ignored. Yet inside those simple moments hid destiny. God often wraps the miraculous in the mundane, so only the attentive will notice. And when I said yes in peace, everything accelerated: resources, relationships, direction. I learned that obedience is the real miracle. Provision follows it. Chosen one, the same will happen for you. Don't look for grand gestures. Watch for quiet alignments. What once drained you will begin to fade, and what truly belongs to you will chase you down. The people who underestimated you will have to witness what God does next, not as revenge, but as revelation. Your story will prove that no delay can cancel destiny. This reversal is also internal. God is rewiring the way you see yourself. The shame, the guilt, the old narrative of not enough is being erased. You will begin to think differently, speak differently, expect differently. The mindset of survival is being replaced by the posture of sovereignty. You are not begging heaven for scraps. You are walking in divine inheritance. But remember, the blessing you're stepping into must be protected by the same silence that birthed it. Don't rush to announce it. Let your results speak first. Revelation loses power when shared prematurely. The oil on your life is fresh. Let it soak in before you pour it out. God is also aligning divine connections, people who carry what you lack and need what you hold. Some will appear unexpectedly, others will return renewed. These are covenant alignments, not coincidences. You'll know them by the peace they bring, not the attention they seek. Be discerning. The wrong partnership can drain a decade, but the right one can redeem lost years. Chosen one. This is not just recovery, it's replacement. What was stolen will return multiplied. The relationships that broke you will be replaced with ones that build you. The losses that humbled you will be compensated with honor. And the pain that silenced you will become the very proof that God was working all along. Stand tall in this hour. The reversal is real. The unseen has shifted. You don't have to force anything, just flow. As you walk forward in faith, you'll notice it: resistance, weakening, peace, expanding, favor, following. Heaven's verdict is final. Your season of reversal has begun. Chosen one, as this new season unfolds, heaven is initiating something far greater than restoration. It's a divine exchange. Everything that was drained, stolen, or broken in the last chapter is being traded for something higher, holier, and lasting. This is the sacred law of divine exchange. What was lost in pain will be returned in purpose, and what was stripped in silence will be restored in strength. God never allows subtraction without preparing multiplication. Every tear you shed was currency in the unseen realm. Every heartbreak was a transaction. You thought you were losing, but in reality you were investing. Heaven has been recording every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every silent surrender. And now the ledger of heaven reads, paid in full. Anointed one. This exchange begins internally before it appears externally. God is removing the old frequencies of fear and replacing them with the vibration of faith. He's taking your self-doubt and turning it into divine confidence. You will no longer walk with the heaviness of what if. You will walk with the certainty of even if. That shift alone changes everything. There was a time when I begged God to give me back what I lost: the relationships, the opportunities, the recognition. But the moment I stopped pleading and started praising, something holy happened. He didn't return what I lost. He replaced it with something I never knew I needed. The peace that came afterward was unexplainable. I realized that heaven doesn't restore by giving you back the same thing. It restores by upgrading your entire reality. Chosen one, you are standing in that same grace. What's coming is not compensation, it's transformation. Don't expect old blessings dressed in new clothes. Expect something you've never seen before. The divine exchange operates by heaven's mathematics. One seed becomes a tree. One heartbreak births a calling. One closed door leads to 1,000 open gates. But to fully receive this exchange, you must release your grip on the old. God cannot fill hands that refuse to let go. The memories, the resentment, the constant replay of what could have been, they are spiritual clutter blocking new flow. When you release what you can't control, you make room for what's meant to find you. Be mindful of this divine exchange doesn't always begin with joy. It often begins with disruption. Sometimes God allows discomfort so that you'll finally drop what's dying. That's why certain people stopped calling. That's why old environments feel heavy. It's not rejection, it's reallocation. Heaven is redistributing your energy toward destiny. You may notice subtle signs that the exchange has begun. Your peace returns even when circumstances haven't changed. Your mind grows calm where it once spun in anxiety. Your ideas flow again. You wake up lighter as though an invisible weight lifted overnight. That's not random, that's the evidence of transaction. Heaven's economy is invisible but precise. Anointed One. This exchange also carries financial and generational implications. The seeds you've sown in tears, time, effort, obedience are about to manifest in tangible provision. This is not prosperity talk. This is divine order. God funds His chosen ones because their missions carry eternal value. You are not being blessed for luxury. You are being resourced for legacy. In the days ahead, unexpected opportunities will emerge, doors you didn't knock on, calls you didn't expect, favor that makes no logical sense. Don't dismiss it as coincidence. These are divine deposits, answers released from the storehouse of heaven. But remember, stewardship determines sustainability. Manage what comes with reverence. The more gratitude you show, the greater the flow will become. Chosen One, take this moment to breathe and acknowledge it. The exchange is already happening. You can feel it in your spirit, a quiet knowing, a deep peace that says it's finally turning. The same hands that carried your burden are now being filled with blessing. The same tears that once fell in silence are watering the field of your future. You've given enough. Now it's your turn to receive. The divine exchange has begun. Heaven is balancing the scales, and this time they tilt in your favor. Chosen One, you have carried heavy things, burdens invisible to those around you. Yet every weight you bore was not punishment. It was preparation. Heaven trusted you with pressure because pressure proves authenticity. Diamonds are not made in comfort. Gold is not refined in ease. And you, Anointed One, have been in the fire long enough. Now the same fire that once hurt you is about to reveal you. This is the moment where glory meets endurance. You've survived the heat, and what remains is pure, unshakable faith. The old heaviness you once felt is not coming back because God has exchanged it for the weight of glory. It's not the weight of burden, it's the gravity of greatness, the divine authority that rests on those who have walked through storms without losing their worship. Glory doesn't descend cheaply, it rests only where there has been crushing. You cried, yet you didn't curse. You fell, yet you didn't quit. And heaven took note of every moment you chose faith instead of frustration. Now that same endurance has become oil, an anointing that will speak before you ever open your mouth. When you walk into rooms, the atmosphere will shift. People won't understand why they feel peace around you, but their spirits will recognize heaven's fingerprint. I remember when God first placed this weight upon me. It didn't feel like glory, it felt like breaking. Everything I built fell apart, and the silence of heaven terrified me. But when I finally stopped fighting and surrendered, something shifted. I realized that the silence wasn't rejection, it was transformation. God wasn't absent. He was expanding my capacity to carry more of Him. The breaking was not destruction, it was enlargement. Chosen One, that's what's happening inside you now. The stretching, the solitude, the sacred stillness, it's not punishment. It's proof that heaven trusts you. The anointing you carry cannot dwell in shallow soil. It requires depth, discipline, and devotion. You've been deepened, and because of that, the presence of God will begin to manifest through you in ways you've never experienced. In the coming days, you will sense an increase in spiritual awareness. Simple things will suddenly feel significant. A phrase, a dream, a moment of quiet will carry divine instruction. Pay attention. These are not coincidences. They're coded communications. God is sharpening your discernment because He is positioning you to lead, to teach, to heal. You are not being elevated for applause, but for assignment. This weight of glory also comes with stewardship. It will demand humility, obedience, and spiritual precision. You cannot move recklessly now. Heaven expects you to walk wisely, to speak only when led to give, only when instructed to move, only when peace accompanies your step. The same silence that trained you must remain your compass. Anointed. 1. Understand this: the greater the glory, the heavier the warfare. When light increases, opposition stirs. But do not fear it. You've already been trained in secret. The very storms that once intimidated you will now respond to your command. You will speak peace into chaos and watch it obey. That's what happens when authority replaces anxiety. Creation responds. You are not entering a soft season. You are entering a strong one. The favor on your life will draw attention, some pure, some envious. But the Spirit of God will be your shield. Every plot formed against you will collapse under its own weight. Every weapon aimed at you will misfire. Every word spoken to diminish you will turn into confirmation of your calling. Chosen one. This is not about fame, it's about function. You were not preserved to impress. You were preserved to impact. The oil on your life was never meant to stay contained. Soon you will be sent. Doors will open, platforms will appear, opportunities will unfold, not because you chased them, but because they were always part of your divine route. The weight of glory rests upon you now. It will not crush you, it will crown you. Walk with reverence, walk with confidence, and let heaven's light flow through your very being. This is your unveiling, and the world is about to see what God was shaping in silence all along. Chosen one, now that the glory has found you, heaven asks for something deeper: obedience. Not the kind born of fear, but the kind that flows from intimacy. Obedience is not about control, it's about communion. It's the proof that you trust God's rhythm more than your own reason. You've prayed for clarity, but clarity only comes through surrender. The next instruction will not arrive until you obey the last one. This is the covenant of obedience, the sacred agreement between heaven and the chosen. When you move in obedience, you unlock acceleration. When you hesitate, you delay the miracle meant for now. The kingdom does not reward convenience, it rewards alignment. Every great breakthrough begins with one silent yes. Chosen one. I've learned this truth the hard way. There were moments when I tried to negotiate with God, when His command seemed unreasonable, when I wanted the blessing, but not the sacrifice. And every time I delayed, peace left. I discovered that delayed obedience is still disobedience. The peace that returns after surrender is not emotional relief. It's spiritual confirmation. Heaven breathes again when you finally say yes. Anointed one. God is not testing your ability to understand. He's testing your willingness to trust. You won't always see the full staircase. He rarely reveals the whole picture because obedience is built step by step. Sometimes all He gives is a whisper, a nudge, a moment of conviction. Don't dismiss it as small. Divine instruction often arrives disguised as inconvenience. That's how faith is refined. When Abraham was called to leave his homeland, he didn't get a roadmap, only a promise. Go to the land I will show you. That's what obedience looks like. Movement without map, faith without forecast. And like Abraham, you too are being asked to walk by revelation, not reassurance. You are not losing control, you are gaining direction. The covenant of obedience also governs your relationships, finances, and focus. In this next chapter, partial obedience will not suffice. You must follow fully, even when it costs comfort. There will be divine prompts, delete, that number decline, that offer move in silence. These are not suggestions, they are strategies. Obedience is the language of victory. And yes, obedience has a sound, it's peace. The moment you obey, a divine stillness will settle around you. Things that once felt chaotic will fall into order. People who were never meant for your destiny will drift without conflict. You'll start to see that what you thought you needed was only scaffolding for the real structure God is building. I remember when God told me to give something away that meant everything to me. I hesitated because it didn't make sense. But when I finally obeyed, not only did He replace it, He multiplied it. That's when I learned obedience is never loss. It's divine exchange. What you release becomes seed, and what you keep in fear becomes limitation. Chosen one. The next level of your destiny will not open through striving, it will open through surrender. Stop asking for signs and start acting on the ones already given. You've prayed long enough, now it's time to walk. Every instruction you follow carries the DNA of your miracle. Each small act of obedience rearranges something massive in the unseen. And understand this, obedience is contagious. When you say yes, heaven aligns people, places, and provision around your path. What was once delayed begins to flow. You'll find yourself in divine momentum where peace guides every decision. That's how you know you're in rhythm with heaven. Anointed one, your obedience is not just for you, it's generational. Your yes breaks curses. Your discipline rewrites family patterns. Your surrender builds legacies. You are not just obeying for your own breakthrough. You are opening gates for your bloodline. So stand firm. Don't negotiate with destiny. Say yes before you see. Move before you understand. The covenant has been written in your spirit, and heaven is waiting for your response. Your next miracle is hidden in your obedience. Chosen. One, you've passed through fire, endured silence, and surrendered in obedience, and now heaven is clothing you with something rare and holy, your mantle of assignment. This is not a title, it's a trust. A mantle is the evidence of divine commissioning, the invisible garment that marks those who have survived refinement and are ready to represent heaven on earth. You are not being promoted for recognition. You are being positioned for purpose. This mantle will not look like what others carry. It will not resemble a pulpit or a platform. It will manifest as influence, wisdom, clarity, and supernatural favor wherever you walk. For some, it will appear in the realm of business. For others, in family restoration, teaching, healing, or creativity. Your mantle is tailor-made for your calling, designed to fit the exact battles you've survived. The oil that covers you now comes from the crushing you endured. Anointed one, you must understand this. The mantle doesn't come to make life easier. It comes to make your purpose unavoidable. When the mantle rests upon you, the spiritual realm recognizes your authority. Environments shift, resistance rises, and assignments activate. That's why lately you've felt the pressure increase even after receiving peace. The mantle carries both power and responsibility, and heaven trusts only those who have been tested in silence. When Elijah's mantle fell upon Elisha, it wasn't a gift, it was a weight. It called him to leave everything familiar and follow without hesitation. The same is true for you. This mantle will demand separation from distractions and dedication to destiny. The days of indecision are over. You can no longer live divided between calling and comfort. Chosen one, you've been sensing it. People who once walked with you now seem distant. Doors that once opened easily now resist. Don't misread this. Heaven is pruning your path so you can carry the mantle without interference. Every true anointing comes with a refining of alignment. Only what's consecrated can handle the oil. I remember the night God first placed his mantle on me. I didn't see a vision or hear thunder. I simply felt a sacred heaviness, a clarity that left no room for doubt. Every part of me knew I could never go back to ordinary. That same knowing is stirring in you now. It's the awareness that you're not who you were yesterday. The conversations you tolerate, the environments you enter, even the thoughts you entertain, they must now match your mantle. This mantle carries instruction. You'll begin to receive divine nudges, calls to pray for strangers, to speak words of encouragement, to start projects that make no earthly sense. Don't question them. Obedience activates the anointing. The more you respond, the stronger your flow becomes. You're not being asked to perform, you're being invited to partner. The Holy Spirit doesn't need perfection. He needs permission. Anointed one, the world is starving for what you carry. There are people waiting on the other side of your yes souls, assigned to your voice lives, tied to your obedience. Your pain wasn't for nothing. It was prophetic preparation for this very moment. Heaven trained you in private so that your influence could remain pure in public. Every scar became a signature of authenticity. But remember, mantles attract both honor and warfare. The same oil that brings favor also provokes resistance. Some will celebrate you, others will question you. Don't defend yourself. Let your fruit speak. The mantle is not validated by applause. It's proven by impact. Chosen one. You are no longer a wanderer, you are a carrier. The presence you feel resting on you right now is not imagination, it's confirmation. Heaven is announcing your activation. This is your mantle moment. Walk with humility. Speak with clarity. Move with power. The time for preparation has ended. The season of performance has begun. This is your hour, anointed one. Heaven has placed the robe of purpose upon your shoulders, and it fits perfectly. You are no longer waiting for permission. You are walking in assignment. The mantle has found you, and it will never lift. Chosen one, before every public unveiling there comes one final test, the test of isolation. You are walking through it now. It feels quiet, almost too quiet. Conversations dry up, support systems fade, and suddenly even your prayers seem to echo back unanswered. But make no mistake, this silence is not absence. It is sacred observation. Heaven is watching how you carry solitude, because how you handle isolation determines how you will handle influence. Every chosen vessel must pass through this chamber. The wilderness is not the enemy, it's the proving ground. It strips you of crutches, false identities and dependencies, so that when glory comes, you will not mistake the platform for the purpose. It's in isolation that character is carved, and calling becomes conviction. Anointed one. You have been asking God, why does it feel like I'm alone after all I've obeyed? And he replies softly, because I am teaching you to hear me without the noise. You are not being punished, you are being purified. The silence that surrounds you is not rejection, it is recognition. Heaven isolates what it intends to elevate. This test exposes every hidden motive. It forces you to face yourself, to see where ego still hides, where fear still whispers, where wounds still bleed. You can't disguise anything in isolation. There are no audiences to impress, no applause to sustain you. It's just you, your purpose, and your God. And in that quiet, everything unnecessary begins to fall away. I remember when I entered my own wilderness. Friends stopped calling, opportunities dried up, and even the things that once inspired me went still. I questioned everything: my worth, my direction, even my faith. But one night I realized something. The silence wasn't empty. It was filled with divine construction. God was rebuilding my foundation so that nothing external could ever shake it again. Chosen one, that's what's happening within you now. The discomfort you feel is divine stretching. You are outgrowing environments that no longer match your evolution. The conversations that once entertained you now drain you. The places that once felt familiar now feel foreign. That's how you know transition is near. You are not being disconnected, you are being redirected. Isolation is also where intimacy with God deepens. When the noise of the world fades, His whisper becomes thunder. He begins to show you patterns, how certain mistakes were actually mercy, how certain delays were disguised protection. You start to see that His absence was never absence, it was strategy. He hid you to heal you. Anointed one, resist the urge to rush out of this process. Many abort their elevation because they confuse loneliness with lack. Loneliness is emotional, isolation is spiritual. One depletes you, the other develops you. In this stillness, you are being filled with strategies that will fuel the next decade of your destiny. The very solitude that hurts today will become the sanctuary that keeps you tomorrow. There will be days you feel like you're disappearing. Don't panic. Hiddenness is the Holy Spirit's greatest weapon. God conceals what He intends to crown. If you reveal yourself too soon, people will mishandle what's holy. Let Him finish the forming. When the time comes, you won't need to announce yourself. Your fruit will make the introduction. This season may test your patience, but it will also reveal your power. You will emerge sharper, lighter, wiser. The insecurities that once haunted you will dissolve because you will finally see who you are without the noise. Chosen, capable, anointed, unstoppable. So sit with the silence. Don't curse it. Let it complete its work. This is not the end of your story. It's the unseen chapter before the unveiling. And when it closes, your next appearance will not be small. It will be undeniable. Chosen one, hold steady in the isolation. The wilderness always feels endless right before the wind shifts. Stay faithful, stay still, stay listening. The same silence that feels empty today will soon echo with the sound of destiny unfolding. Chosen one, can you hear it? That faint vibration in your spirit, the quiet trembling in the atmosphere around you, it's the sound of breakthrough approaching. It doesn't arrive with thunder, it begins as a whisper. Before manifestation comes movement, before revelation comes a rumble. Heaven is stirring and creation is responding to your obedience. The wait is over. The appointed time has found you. You've endured the silence, passed the test of isolation, and now the air around your life feels charged, different. The resistance you felt before wasn't a blockade, it was a signal. Whenever heaven prepares to release something new, the spiritual pressure increases. That tension you feel is not chaos, it's transition. You are crossing from the unseen into the undeniable. Anointed one, breakthrough always begins quietly. It's the shift in your thoughts before the shift in your circumstances. It's the moment your language changes from, "I hope it happens," to "I know it's done." The greatest miracles are born not from effort, but from alignment. You don't have to force the door anymore. God has already turned the key. I remember the day I learned this truth. I was exhausted from trying to fix what only faith could fulfill. Every prayer felt like labor, every day like waiting. But one morning I woke up with a strange calm, a peace that made no sense. Nothing around me had changed, but everything inside me had shifted. That's when I understood. Breakthrough doesn't start when things open outside you. It starts when something opens within you. Chosen one. The sound of breakthrough is not noise, it's harmony. It's the alignment of heaven and earth of your purpose with God's plan. And right now that alignment is complete. Every delay has expired. Every detour has served its purpose. You are standing in the hour of divine manifestation. Yet understand, this breakthrough doesn't mean easy, it means possible. God is not removing all resistance. He's revealing your authority over it. You will still face challenges, but they won't intimidate you. You'll move through them with the quiet confidence of someone who knows heaven backs their every step. When obstacles rise, you'll speak peace, and they will bow. This is what the transformation has prepared you for, not a life free of struggle, but a spirit unshaken by it. You are no longer the version of yourself that needed proof to believe. Now you believe because you've walked with God through darkness and discovered that His light never left you. That faith, steady, quiet, unwavering, is what makes heaven move. Chosen one. This is also the season where words carry weight. What you decree in faith will materialize with speed. Heaven has synced your voice with divine timing. When you speak, speak life. When you declare, do so with conviction. You are not begging for blessing, you are enforcing what's already yours. Angels respond to authority, not anxiety. In the next days, pay attention to signs of acceleration. Unexpected messages, doors that open effortlessly, favor from unfamiliar faces. These are confirmations that your breakthrough has crossed dimensions. Some blessings will appear disguised as responsibility, others as redirection. Don't dismiss either. Both are divine strategies. And when it happens, and it will remember to stay humble. Gratitude multiplies what pride dissolves. Every miracle is a trust, not a trophy. Use it to bless, not boast. You've been trained for this moment, not to flaunt your survival, but to guide others still walking through their storms. Anointed one, take this moment to breathe. Feel the shift. Hear it, the steady rhythm of heaven echoing through your life, saying, "It is time." The silence that once defined you is breaking into song. The gates are opening, the oil is flowing, and your name is being spoken in rooms your feet have yet to enter. The sound of breakthrough has reached your doorstep. Don't run from it, receive it. Step into it with reverence, with courage, with gratitude. For what is unfolding now is not random, it is reward. Chosen one. Now that the breakthrough has sounded, heaven releases what follows it, the flow of divine favor. This is not ordinary luck or fleeting blessing. It is supernatural, current, invisible, yet undeniable, that carries you where effort could never take you. You've crossed the threshold where labor ends and grace begins. From this point forward, doors won't just open, they'll recognize you. Divine favor is not earned, it's entrusted. It's heaven's stamp that says, this one has passed the test. This one can be trusted with visibility. For too long you worked hard with little reward, gave deeply, and received little in return. But all of that sowing was never wasted. It built the foundation upon which this river of favor now flows. Anointed. 1. Expect movement. Expect divine interruptions, unexpected calls, messages, encounters that align with your purpose. Favor doesn't always arrive through the familiar. Often it shows up through the unexpected, the inconvenient, the impossible, but it will always carry the mark of peace. Watch how certain things will simply click into place without you striving. That is favor's fingerprint. When favor flows, everything accelerates. What once took years will happen in months. Delayed dreams will catch up to your faith. People who overlooked you will begin to remember your name, not because you chased validation, but because heaven whispered your name into the right ears. That's how favor works. It travels faster than footsteps. I've walked through this kind of favor before, and I know how subtle yet strong it can be. It's that moment when one obedient act births 10 opportunities. It's when you stop trying to prove yourself and realize that grace itself has become your platform. I learned that you can't chase favor, you must become aligned with it. And alignment begins with humility. Chosen. 1. The same God who anointed you in obscurity is now ushering you into visibility. But the secret to sustaining favor is staying small before Him, even as your influence grows. Pride interrupts flow. Gratitude multiplies it. Keep your posture low, your spirit teachable, your heart pure. You'll begin to notice that divine connections appear organically. Someone will mention your name in a conversation you weren't part of. A stranger will offer help with no hidden agenda. Resources will come from places you never looked. Don't rationalize it, recognize it. You are walking under an open heaven. Favor doesn't mean exemption from work. It means ease in what you're called to do. It doesn't erase effort. It removes friction. What used to drain you will now flow naturally. Projects, ideas, partnerships, all will carry supernatural efficiency. Even your speech will carry grace that opens hearts. People won't know why they're drawn to you, but they'll sense the presence you carry. Anointed. 1. Remember that favor is not just for you, it's through you. You are a vessel, not a vault. God's favor flows to the generous, not the possessive. As He blesses you, be a blessing. Share wisdom, extend mercy, sow seeds of kindness, fund the visions of others. That's how you keep the river moving. Stagnant waters breed decay. Flowing rivers stay pure. In this season, your surroundings will also shift. Some will admire the favor, others may envy it. Don't let that shake you. Light exposes what darkness hides. The same glow that draws help will also expose hypocrisy. Stay gracious, stay silent, stay focused. You don't have to defend favor, you simply demonstrate it. Chosen 1. Divine favor is not random, it's prophetic fulfillment. Everything you endured has led to this moment of flow. The obstacles that once intimidated you are now behind you. The doors that resisted you are now required to receive you. Walk boldly but gently with reverence for the one who made it all possible. This is your river season. Step into the current and let it carry you. You don't have to force what God has already ordained. Relax into the rhythm of grace. For when divine favor flows, striving ceases and destiny begins to sing. Chosen 1. Now that favor flows freely around you, heaven turns its focus inward to restore what was lost within. This is the season of identity restoration, where God reintroduces you to who you've always been, beneath the fear, the fatigue, and the false labels. You are not who pain tried to make you. You are who purpose preserved you to become. Every storm, every silent night, every betrayal chipped away at your confidence. People called you strange, too sensitive, too intense, too different. But heaven called you set apart. The world saw instability. God saw preparation. What looked like isolation was really insulation, a divine cocoon where your true nature could reform without contamination. Anointed 1. The greatest attack against the chosen has never been external, it's always been on identity. If the enemy can make you doubt who you are, he can delay where you're going. That's why so many of your battles have been psychological, emotional, invisible. But that war ends here. Heaven is reminding you that you were never broken. You were buried, waiting for your appointed time to bloom. You've spent seasons trying to fit into spaces that couldn't contain your spirit. You've dimmed your light to comfort others' insecurities, carried guilt for your discernment, apologized for your depth. But now, the divine voice inside you rises again. You are my chosen. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to stand out. I remember when I first began to grasp this truth. There was a time I sought validation in every voice but God's. I wanted people to see me, to confirm me, to applaud me, and the more I reached outward, the emptier I felt. Until one day in stillness, God whispered, "You keep asking them who you are when only I can tell you." That revelation broke me open. I wept not from shame, but from recognition. I realized that I had spent years auditioning for rooms I was meant to own. Chosen. 1. This restoration isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you already are. God is peeling off the masks you wore to survive. The performer, the pleaser, the overachiever, those identities are dissolving. You no longer need to prove your worth through productivity. You are valuable simply because you exist under divine assignment. You'll begin to notice subtle shifts, your boundaries strengthening your spirit, quieting your joy, returning without reason. That's not coincidence, it's recovery. You're reclaiming the fragments of your soul scattered through old battles. The clarity you feel now is evidence that your mind has been rewired for peace. Anointed one, when you finally see yourself as heaven does, everything changes. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop surviving and start stewarding. You stop doubting and start decreeing. Identity is power. It determines what you tolerate and what you create. When you walk in your true identity, confusion flees. You begin to command environments rather than conform to them. This restoration also brings a new kind of boldness. Not arrogance, but divine assurance. You'll no longer shrink when God elevates you. You'll no longer question whether you're ready. You'll move like someone who knows they've been hand-picked by eternity. The insecurity that once haunted you will now serve as evidence of your growth. You'll recognize it, but it won't control you. You may feel the pull of nostalgia, the temptation to return to who you were before the wilderness. Resist it. You cannot rebuild what God has already replaced. The old you was necessary for that chapter, but the new you is required for what's next. Don't reach back for what no longer reflects your light. Chosen one, look in the mirror and see it the glow of someone who made it through fire and found freedom on the other side. You are not just restored, you are redefined. Heaven's fingerprints are all over you. The power, the clarity, the peace, it's not borrowed, it's yours. This is your true identity, fully recovered, fearlessly embodied, and the world is about to witness what God always saw in you. Chosen one, as your identity is restored, heaven now reveals the next layer, your divine purpose. This is why everything had to happen. Every tear, every trial, every quiet season of waiting was a classroom preparing you for this unveiling. You were not wandering aimlessly, you were being trained in secret. The very pain that tried to destroy you has become the password to your purpose. You see, purpose doesn't emerge from comfort. It's birthed in contradiction. God allowed you to walk through rejection so you could carry compassion. He permitted loss so you could embody empathy. Every unanswered prayer, every detour, every disappointment was shaping the message you are now called to carry. You are not merely a survivor, you are a vessel of revelation. Anointed One, your purpose is not something you chase, it's something you awaken to. And now that your heart is clear and your spirit is still, heaven can finally speak without interference. You will begin to notice divine patterns, things that have always drawn your heart, moments where you come alive, burdens that won't leave your spirit. Those are clues. Your calling hides in the desires that refuse to die. I remember when God first revealed mine. It wasn't through thunder or prophecy, it was through reflection. I looked back over the hardest seasons of my life and saw a thread running through them all. I was always drawn to helping people heal, to finding light in dark places. That's when I understood my pain had purpose. My scars became my assignment, and that same pattern lives in you. Chosen One. What you've endured uniquely qualifies you to guide others through what once broke you. Your purpose is not separate from your story, it's concealed within it. Stop despising the path that prepared you. Every hardship was heaven's curriculum. Every fall was part of your anointing. The oil you carry flows from the crushing you survived. Now that purpose is awakening, you'll feel the urgency of divine momentum. God will begin to stir new ideas, divine projects, and callings that stretch you beyond comfort. Don't resist them. Purpose rarely feels convenient. It often feels impossible. But impossibility is where faith proves its worth. Heaven never gives assignments that can be completed without partnership. That's why your obedience matters more than your ability. Anointed One. Your purpose is not small. It's not about status or stage. It's about transformation. Wherever you go, atmospheres will shift. Your words will heal. Your presence will bring peace. Your faith will inspire others to believe again. You carry the fragrance of heaven, the residue of divine encounters. That's your ministry, whether it happens on a platform, in a conversation, or in silence. But understand this revelation always comes with responsibility. God reveals only what He can trust you to steward. Protect what He shows you. Don't share everything too soon. Some instructions are meant to be prayed over, not posted. Wisdom keeps revelation fertile. Exposure makes it fragile. As this revelation unfolds, you will also realize something profound. You were never competing with anyone. Your purpose is custom-built, designed specifically for your soul's fingerprint. You carry something no one else can replicate. You are not late, not behind, not forgotten. You are perfectly aligned with divine timing. And as you step into this awareness, old insecurities will fade. Comparison will lose its grip. You will no longer look sideways. You'll look upward. Because purpose makes peace your new priority. You'll wake up each day not chasing approval, but walking in assignment. Chosen One. This is the revelation of why you were chosen. You were not picked for privilege, you were picked for purpose. Everything you've lost will make sense in the light of what you're about to do. Heaven didn't choose you because you were perfect. Heaven chose you because you were willing. Now walk in it with humility, authority, and holy confidence. Your purpose is no longer a mystery, it's your ministry. And the world is waiting to see what obedience looks like in your hands. Chosen One. Now that your purpose has been revealed, heaven calls you to embody it, to manifest what was once only vision. This is the hour where thought becomes form, where prayer becomes presence, where the unseen takes shape in your reality. You are no longer in preparation mode, you are in activation. The manifestation of what God promised is no longer ahead of you, it is emerging through you. Manifestation begins not with action, but with awareness. The moment you recognize that heaven already resides within you, you stop striving and start creating. Every word you speak, every thought you nurture, every emotion you entertain, they are all creative codes. God's Spirit in you is the ultimate generator of reality. You were made in the image of the Creator, which means creation itself responds to your belief. Anointed One, the key to divine manifestation lies in alignment. It's not about forcing outcomes, it's about syncing your energy with heaven's frequency. When your thoughts, words, and faith move as one, miracles cease to be rare, they become rhythm. That's why God has been purifying your motives and pruning your desires. The universe can only reflect what's pure in you. When your will aligns with His manifestation, becomes effortless. I learned this truth in my own wilderness. There was a season when everything I touched seemed delayed, and I mistook delay for denial. But one night, as I sat in silence, the Holy Spirit whispered, "You're waiting for what's already waiting for you." That sentence unlocked everything. I realized manifestation wasn't about chasing, it was about matching. When I aligned my belief with God's timing, things began to unfold, connections, provision, purpose, all without struggle. Chosen. One manifestation is not magic, it's mastery of faith. It's the moment your inner world becomes strong enough to shape the outer one. This is why heaven required silence first. The quiet refined your frequency. You learn to speak less but mean more, to move slower but with precision. Now every decree carries power. When you declare peace, environments shift. When you speak abundance, resources move. When you bless instead of complain, you magnetize miracles. Be mindful now of what leaves your lips. Every word is a seed, and your atmosphere is fertile. Don't plant doubt in soil meant for destiny. Speak what you want to see until what you see matches what you've spoken. The world responds to conviction, not confusion. When you decree in faith, the elements obey. Anointed One. The evidence of manifestation will start subtly. The people you need will begin to appear. The resources you lacked will find you. Closed doors will reopen with new favor, and you will realize it was never about earning. It was about allowing. You were never waiting for opportunity. Opportunity was waiting for you to believe. This is also the season to move intentionally. Manifestation requires movement. Faith without works remains potential. Faith with action becomes power. If God told you to start, start. If He told you to write, write. If He told you to give, give. Every small step releases divine confirmation. Heaven partners only with momentum. But remember, manifestation is sustained by gratitude. Thank God before you see the result. Gratitude keeps your heart light and your flow unblocked. Complaining clogs the current. Thanksgiving multiplies it. As you bless your process, you accelerate your progress. I have seen miracles unfold through one simple habit: praising before proof. Each time I did, I witnessed doors open faster, solutions appear smoother, favor follow naturally. Gratitude transforms waiting into worship, and worship transforms atmosphere into outcome. Chosen One. The manifestation you've prayed for is not coming, it's here. Look around. The atmosphere feels different because your frequency has shifted. You've become the vessel heaven trusts to turn spirit into substance. You are no longer asking for signs. You are the sign. Walk boldly now. Manifestation is not a moment, it's a lifestyle. Carry yourself as one who already possesses the promise, because in truth you do. Heaven's word has taken form. Your reality is catching up to what your faith already knew. Chosen one, you have reached the threshold where promise turns into permanence. This is not just another season, it is the era of overflow. What once felt delayed is now being delivered. What once required your tears will now respond to your voice. You are standing under an open heaven, and the word that has hovered over you for years is now taking flesh. The era of striving is over. The flow of abundance has begun. Overflow is not simply about having more, it's about becoming more. Heaven isn't just filling your hands, it's enlarging your heart. Every lesson, every loss, every lonely night has expanded your capacity to carry what's coming. You prayed for blessings, but God first had to make you into the vessel that could hold them. The wait was not punishment, it was preparation. And now, because you endured the refining, you can handle the release. Anointed one. This overflow will touch every area: spirit, mind, relationships, finances, and influence. But it will begin within. You'll wake up lighter. You'll sense joy where heaviness once lived. You'll think clearer, speak bolder, and walk taller. You'll no longer strive to attract. You'll simply align. Because overflow is not pursuit, it's magnetism. When heaven fills you, creation recognizes it. I remember when overflow first visited my life. It didn't start with wealth or applause, it started with peace. The kind of peace that didn't make sense on paper. Everything around me looked the same, yet something inside felt finished, full, whole. That's when I realized true overflow is not accumulation, it's saturation. It's when gratitude fills every gap, when presence replaces pressure. From that moment, opportunities began chasing me instead of the other way around. Chosen one, that's what's about to happen to you. You've graduated from waiting for miracles to walking in them. Heaven is setting divine appointments in motion, strategic alignments, kingdom partnerships, and unexpected provisions that will appear almost too easily. Don't question the ease. You've earned it through endurance. This is what it feels like when grace takes the wheel. But be mindful, overflow requires stewardship. God doesn't pour into careless vessels. You must handle increase with intention. This means guarding your peace like treasure, tithing gratitude before spending gain, and staying humble while favored. Remember, what you carry is not just blessing, it's blueprint. Others will look at how you move in this era and learn how heaven honors obedience. Anointed one. Some around you may not understand the glow that's returning to your face, the doors opening without explanation, the serenity in your steps. Don't waste time explaining. Overflow speaks for itself. Just as oil cannot be hidden, favor cannot be silenced. Let your results testify. Let your peace preach. This is also a season of restoration multiplied. What you lost will return not as it was, but as it was always meant to be. Relationships healed by maturity, finances restored with wisdom, dreams revived with strategy. The years that felt stolen are being redeemed in speed. The harvest is overtaking the sower. Even your words will carry new power. When you pray, you'll feel heaven respond instantly. When you decree, things will shift tangibly. You'll sense the nearness of God, not as visitation, but habitation. You are no longer waiting for His presence to come, it already abides within you. Chosen one, understand this clearly. This overflow is not for display, it's for dominion. You are being positioned as a vessel of impact. The abundance flowing through your life is meant to heal systems, fund visions, and free others still trapped in lack. You are not just blessed to live well, you are blessed to lead well. So step into this new era with reverence. Let gratitude be your language and generosity your lifestyle. Heaven has not just answered your prayers, it has entrusted you with legacy. You are walking proof that obedience brings overflow, that faith never fails, and that silence births sound. Chosen one, lift your head and breathe. You've crossed the final threshold. What was once promised is now permanent. The wilderness is over, the river is rising, the oil is flowing. And from this moment on, you will never again live in scarcity, only in supernatural, undeniable, unstoppable overflow. Chosen one, heaven has spoken, and the shift has begun. You are standing in your Kairos moment, the sacred intersection where obedience meets overflow. The supernatural transfer is already moving through your life, aligning what once felt broken into divine order. Walk gently, walk boldly, and let gratitude be your compass. Stay faithful, stay listening, and watch how swiftly God fulfills what He promised. If this word stirred your spirit, share it, comment, "I'm ready," and step into your new beginning.